piping system to supply oxygen directly to the wards. This will enhance the treatment of critical patients, particularly those with respiratory complications. The hospital also boasts a 10-bed capacity private wing, catering for both male and female patients. A 24-hour pharmacy serving inpatients and the broader community. It has an improved maternity wing for high-risk deliveries. However, with buildings dating back to 1928, the hospital faces infrastructural and staffing challenges.
And these are the structures that we are working with. So the working space per se is small. That's why you see this hospital needs what you'd call a ward complex or a maternity complex, you know, a ward where you have the whole theater. Now, rolling a patient from maternity to theater, that is where they pass. Yet if there is that ward complex, you have all that happening in one ward unit, and there is no big problem.
With continuous improvements in infrastructure, technology and service delivery, Lira Regional Referral Hospital is not only elevating healthcare in Lao sub-region, but also serving as a beacon of medical excellence in northern Uganda and beyond.
But at least it's working.
The Minister for Justice and Constitutional Affairs, Norbert Mao, has urged opposition politicians not to misinterpret the Supreme Court's verdict. Speaking in Parliament, Mao clarified that the court did not order Dr. Kizza Besigye's release from Luzira prison, but ruled that as a civilian he should not be tried in a military court. Mao's comments come amid the rising tensions over Besigye's continued detention, with some supporters protesting for his unconditional release.
Because of the case of Dr. Besigye. Now, Mr. Speaker, it is erroneous for anybody to think that what the Supreme Court said was a release order. The court does not say, I have freed, because the case hasn't been heard. They are only saying, bring it before the proper court, so that we hear the case. So we should not misguide the population, Mr. Speaker, by exciting them that now it is a release order.
Minister,
I would like the lawyers for Dr. Besigye to do their job. None of us is in office to fight the Supreme Court. If the Supreme Court does something and says that these laws are colliding, we do what I've called will alignment.
Minister,
I have nothing more to add to that.
Thank you.
I just want to call upon colleagues, put aside your political lens when you are discussing this. If the evidence is there, it will be presented before the civilian court. That will also be a trial. But now you are misleading the public to say the court has said, now these people are free.
Thank you.
But the Supreme Court did not hear the case. So how can they determine it?
Thank you. Now,
it is a shame that honorable members can misguide the nation like that.
Now, stakeholders in water and sanitation have called on African countries to innovate resilient climate strategies to ensure the provision of clean water for all. At the 22nd Africa Water and Sanitation Association International Congress, experts emphasized the importance of domesticating Pillar 6 of the UN Sustainable Development Goals, which focuses on ensuring access to safe water, sanitation and hygiene as basic human needs for health and well-being. We have more in this story.
The 22nd African Water and Sanitation Association International Congress and exhibition hosted by the National Water and Sewage Corporation is centered on amplifying research and innovation in the water supply value chain to ensure clean water provision.
Given the global financial constraints affecting water and sanitation sector, it is imperative that we focus on innovation and cheaper homegrown solutions to maximize the efficiency with limited resources. Over the past 5 years, funding for the sector has declined. Therefore, it is crucial to ensure that existing resources are strategically allocated to yield the greatest impact, that is, achieving more with less.
Utility managers are challenged to spearhead resilient mechanisms towards climate change to ensure continuous water access.
Africa holds a place of immense significance, not just for IWA, but for the entire global water community. We are all aware of the challenges Africa faces, yet we must also recognize the extraordinary potential that lies ahead. This vital academy holds the power to transform the water sector by building and strengthening workforce capacity across the continent. We are truly thrilled to be part of its promising future.
At the event, the third Deputy Prime Minister of Uganda, Rukia Nakadama, launched the African Water and Sanitation Academy. The academy, to be hosted in Uganda, seeks to build leaders cognizant with safe water access and promotion of SDG Pillar number 6.
How do we ensure that arid areas which suffer from extreme scarcity can receive from those with abundant resources through equitable use of transboundary water resources? AFWASA members must devise homegrown solutions to address African water sanitation challenges.
AFWASA has positioned itself to strengthen value proposition to its members through the new Strategic and Technological Council, STC, enhancing leadership, development and change management through a recently established African Water and Sanitation Academy.
Experts recommend more funding towards water and environment frameworks for sustainability and universal access. Africa-grown approaches for water and sanitation challenges is another recommendation.
Policy reforms that update laws and regulations to promote sustainable water use, regional cooperation, strengthen the partnerships to address transboundary water challenges, and resource mobilization, increase investment in water infrastructures and technology, human capital, research and innovation.
Enhancing institutional capacity ensures that people get affordable, reliable, and inclusive services. Community engagement needs to be central. The people we serve need to be active participants in shaping solutions. Local knowledge and ownership are essential for interventions to be effective and lasting.
The 2025 Africa Water and Sanitation Access International Congress is held under the theme Water and Sanitation for All, a Secure Future for Africa. Abdul Nasir Lubama and Rogers Komagum for UBC.
Thanks, Luwamba, for that story. And we've just got news in, and it's a statement from His Excellency President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni on Dr. Besige's incarceration. And it reads, fellow Ugandans, especially the Bazukulu, I have seen the concern by some Ugandans regarding the remanding of Dr. Besige for the very serious offenses he is accused he is alleged to have been planning. If you want a stable country, the more correct question should be, naye Dr. Besige bamukwatira ki? Why was Dr. Besige arrested? The answer to that is a quick trial so that facts can come out. Otherwise, you are promoting insecurity, which is very dangerous for the country. Nobody in the world can easily give us lectures on reconciliation and forgiveness because that is part of our doctrine right from the 1960s. However, our strategy and doctrine are also based on accountability by the mistake makers, especially those who kill Ugandans. We are now able to remember Janani Luwum, Benedicto Chiwanuka, Chingo Chamonges, Edward Mutesa, etc., moving through a peaceful Uganda and traveling on good tarmac roads because the freedom fighters sacrificed themselves and defeated Idi Amin and all other killers. We are not for vengeance, but the danger of the killers must be removed. Therefore, the correct answer in the matter of Dr. Besige is a quick trial. Who slowed down the trial process? It is the courts that pointed out some gaps in the military courts and they ordered the transfer of the cases to civilian courts. The concerned people are therefore working on two fronts: transfer the files to the civilian courts for the military courts, and the government and the legislators to close the gaps in the military courts. If you are innocent, why do you not demand for a quick trial so that you can prove your innocence and expose those who are persecuting you, instead of demanding bail, forgiveness, as if serious crime is also entitled to holidays? On the issue of sickness, there is, first of all, a government hospital in the prison. Besides, Dr. Besige's personal doctors have been visiting him and even taking him to private clinics. If there was need for any additional medical care, the government would be advised. However, in this case, Dr. Besige was on hunger strike. That is part of the cause for his weakness that we could see in the pictures that were in the newspapers. Is that not unprincipled blackmail? How can you be accused of serious crimes and then your response is a hunger strike to generate sympathy for getting bail, etc.? Why don't you demand a quick trial? The military court was ready for the trial. Let us wait for the civilian court. Signed, Yoweri Museveni, President of the Republic of Uganda. And that is the statement from His Excellency President Yoweri Museveni about Dr. Besige's incarceration. Lunchtime news will now take a short break, but we'll be returning with much more. Do stay with us.
Here's your chance to win school fees for your child for a whole year. Just pay school fees using Momo.
Hey, Mkowe High School. Na wana tufunye wo muwanguzi o MTN Momo. Ye wangu de school fees ezo mwaka mulamba tebereza. Hey, owuliro otya mutima kati.
Banange sanyu byenye nali amochi wago nyanjaga nyangu amali walonze erinyo.
Shishi?
Njani awangula school fees.
Eza Momo.
Eza Momo.
Ezo mwaka mulamba.
Mwaka mulamba ndi musanyu.
Oh my goodness.
Banange MTN mwenye yanza ne yanze.
Wanje?
Mwebale nnyo mwebalire ddala.
Nkubiriza muzadde munange yonna gy'oli. Wallahi Satulia school fees for Momo Pay.
Dial *165 *80 hash. Select option 2 for school pay. Select option 1 to pay school fees. Enter the student number and amount and approve the transaction. You will now enter the draw to win school fees for your child for a whole year.
Looking for instant excitement? The Uganda National Lottery Spin for Cash game is now available online. Wherever you are, you can join the excitement for just 500, 1,000 and 2,000 Uganda shillings. Don't miss out. Register now on www.nationallottery.go.ug for a chance to win your share of 2 billion instantly. What are you waiting for? Play Spin for Cash now, anytime, anywhere. Ituba is the proud operator of the Uganda National Lottery.
Uganda National Lottery. Dream, play, win.
Participants must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. The Uganda National Lottery is operated by Ituba Uganda and regulated by the National Lotteries and Gaming Regulatory Board.
It's our mission to secure your money.
Protecting your money is as important as earning it. It is for this reason that the Deposit Protection Fund of Uganda, DPF, was established by the government of Uganda to provide deposit protection to customers of regulated financial institutions. In the unlikely event that your commercial bank, credit institution or microfinance deposit-taking institution fails, the DPF will pay you up to 10 million Uganda shillings. Keep your personal information such as national identification number, mobile phone or an alternative bank account updated with your banker. Terms and conditions apply. For more information, contact DPF at Aha Towers, Plot 7 Lodel Road, Kampala. Call 0312-206-400 or visit our website at www.dpf.or.ug.
We are the DPF. We protect your money. Deposit Protection Fund of Uganda.
Government of Uganda presents Post Buses in Uganda, operated by Posta Uganda. We specialize in professional transport, courier and vehicle hire services across Uganda. Our routes include Kampala Masaka Mbarara Kabale Chisoro, Kampala Mukono Jinja Mbale via Tirinyi Road Soroti Lira, and Kampala Luwero Kamudini Gulu Kitgum. Our main offices are located at the Post Office Head Office on Kampala Road, with booking services available at counters 23 and 24 at the General Post Office. You can also book at designated district post offices along our routes. For inquiries or bookings, please contact us on 0751 684 184. Posta Uganda. We deliver trust.
Osmosis again. Osmosis tried to pay. Money was it enough. He checked every pocket. Money was it enough. Oh see, we're sorting it. With the Momo, we're sorting it. Osmosis checked again. Money still not enough. He looked everywhere. But what is going on? Unbelievable. we're sorting it. With the Momo, we're sorting it.
When your money is not enough, we're sorting it with MTN Momo. Use the Momo app or dial *165*5# to add call with Momo Advance and pay bills, send money or buy bundles.
It's our mission to secure your money.
Protecting your money is as important as earning it. It is for this reason that the Deposit Protection Fund of Uganda, DPF, was established by the Government of Uganda to provide deposit protection to customers of regulated financial institutions. In the unlikely event that your commercial bank, credit institution or microfinance deposit-taking institution fails, the DPF will pay you up to 10 million Uganda shillings. Keep your personal information such as national identification number, mobile phone or an alternative bank account updated with your banker. Terms and conditions apply. For more information, contact DPF at Aha Towers, Plot 7 Lodel Road, Kampala. Call 0312-206-400 or visit our website at www.dpf.or.ug.
We are the DPF. We protect your money. Deposit Protection Fund of Uganda.
Welcome back from that break, and this is Lunchtime News here on UBC TV. Now, moving further afield, French President Emmanuel Macron hosts a group of European leaders for talks Monday focused on the situation in Ukraine amid a shift in the U.S. approach to the conflict and suggestions by U.S. officials that Europe would not have a role in peace talks. Take a watch.
A few days of bruising diplomacy have shaken the foundation of European security. French President Emmanuel Macron hosted several European leaders in Paris for crisis talks Monday, including British Prime Minister Keir Starmer.
We Europeans will have to do more. The issue of burden sharing is not new, but it is now pressing. And Europeans will have to step up, both in terms of spending and the capabilities that we provide.
Starmer said he was prepared to commit British forces on the ground in Ukraine if there is a lasting peace agreement.
But there must be a US backstop, because a US security guarantee is the only way to effectively deter Russia from attacking Ukraine again.
A series of policy shifts by Washington has transformed Europe's geopolitical calculations. US Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth told NATO allies last week that Europe must provide the overwhelming share of aid for Ukraine as it fights Russian invaders, adding that the United States was no longer, quote, primarily focused on the security of Europe. Then US President Donald Trump spoke to Russian counterpart Vladimir Putin, effectively ending Moscow's isolation. Both agreed to begin Ukraine peace talks in Saudi Arabia, scheduled for Tuesday, with Ukraine and Europe excluded from the table.
We are witnessing tectonic shifts of the order structures and also of the positioning of major powers.
European leaders must make some big decisions, another analyst says.
Not just maintaining, but upping support for Ukraine, given it's very clear that the US is not going to play a major role anymore in the way that it has under Biden, but also for European defence and security in the medium to longer term, what that's going to look like. So there's huge questions hanging over Europeans.
Only 23 of 32 NATO members met the alliance target of spending at least 2% of gross domestic product on defence, let alone the 5% demanded by Donald Trump.
Well, that's going to be the really difficult thing for many Europeans who are operating in a fiscally very constrained space.
US criticism went beyond questions of defence. At the Munich Security Conference over the weekend, US Vice President J.D. Vance criticised mass migration and a perceived attack on freedom of speech in Europe.
The threat that I worry the most about vis-a-vis Europe is not Russia, it's not China, it's not any other external actor. And what I worry about is the threat from within, the retreat of Europe from some of its most fundamental values, values shared with the United States of America.
Those comments were described as unacceptable by German officials. Europe is reeling from the new tone in transatlantic relations, says Van Rij.
What has come as a surprise is the style in which this has been done, and that's been really kind of breaking all the norms in terms of how diplomacy is conducted, where really reality is hit very, very clearly.
A reality to which Europe and Ukraine must adapt fast. Henry Ridgewell, VOA News.
And that's all we had time for. Thank you so much for having kept us company from me. And on behalf of the entire news crew this afternoon, it's good afternoon and bon appetit.